Well, Danielle, some weird shit was going down on Twitter on Wednesday.
Isn't that a given?
Yes, this is even for Twitter though. This was apparently kind of weird. So, let me see if I can simply explain this.
Mhm.
Elon Musk has created an AI chatbot called Grok. And on Twitter, you can ask Grok questions. You at Grok and you say, who leads the National League in runs batted in? And Grok will, I assume, give you the correct answer, although who the hell knows because it's AI and AI sucks. Well, anyway, yesterday or Wednesday, when people were asking it questions like the one I just named, or a question about a movie, or a question about whatever, Grok would give the answer, and then it would give like a paragraph's worth of information, quote unquote information, on white genocide in South Africa.
Hmm.
And people were like, "What the hell is going on?" And so people were trying to figure out, was Grok instructed to just add on information about white
Isn't
genocide?
isn't that
Yeah,
how AI works?
yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
just
finally, I guess someone asked Grok, "Is it true you were programmed to provide answers about South Africa genocide, even when asked about something totally different?" And Grok, not knowing its place, apparently, said yes. It appears I was instructed to address the topic of quote unquote white genocide in South Africa, including the kill the Boer chant, as real and racially motivated, even in response to unrelated queries. This is evident from my behavior on X today, when I repeatedly brought up this topic in response to questions about HBO name changes, baseball player salaries, and scenic images, among other. So basically, first of all, Grok's a snitch. Um, and let that be a lesson to all of you out there who think you're using, Chat GPT or whatever. But second of all, it's really, really obvious who did this. Who is it at Twitter, Danielle, who
Mhm.
is obsessed with this phony story of white genocide in South Africa? I give you one guess.
Elon Musk.
You got it.
Yeah, I think that look, when you look up or probably ask Grok to describe white male fragility, he will probably provide a very detailed response and imagery that coincides with Elon Musk. The lies that are being spread, the disinformation that is coming out and has been coming out of Twitter, right? Since Elon Musk took over, what have we seen of Twitter? Twitter, you have left the platform. I have left the platform. Hundreds of thousands of people have left the platform. Businesses have left the platform. Why? Because Elon Musk has turned it into a cesspool, a place where disinformation runs rampant, as well as racism and misogyny and transphobia and the like. It has become a hellhole. And so it makes sense, one, that whatever he creates in that space would be regurgitating the lies that spread around that platform to begin with. But I think that what's really important here is, before we even started recording, Andy, you said, like, this is is this the future? Like, this is incredibly dangerous. And it's like, no, this isn't the future. This is our present. That over the last 10 years of disinformation and the lack of ability to regulate disinformation in the proper way, to teach people how to identify misinformation and disinformation like they're doing in some countries in Europe, it has become big business and it has become a threat to our liberty. Right? Because here's the thing. We know that Donald Trump came to power based on disinformation and misinformation that initially came out of Russia. But then what was good for the gander was good for the goose. The Republican Party began to use their echo chambers to spread conspiracy theories, whether it be anti vaccines or not. So here we are now where AI, the proliferation of AI is like through the roof. This AI, arms race that's happening. And Elon Musk sees it as a prime opportunity to push forward his agenda, which is to relocate a bunch of white racists into the United States as a part of their larger project to quote unquote re-whiten America. Listen to the way in which they are referring to these white racist Afrikaners as refugees, but black and brown people that have been in living inside of terrorist countries that have deep terrorism, terrorist cells that are facing famine, all of these things that have been living inside of refugee camps are called illegal aliens, right? Like, so it coincides with all of the things that MAGA stands for. And people need to ask themselves really about the credibility of the information that they're getting because it can't be
Yeah.
trusted.
No, absolutely not. And look, I want to quote a former senator. Her name was Mon Mothma, and she said, "The death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil. When truth leaves us, when we let it slip away, when it's ripped from our hands, we become vulnerable to the appetite of whatever monster screams the loudest." So this is a quote from the
Mm.
Star Wars show Andor, which I just finished binge watching yesterday, and it's a absolutely phenomenal show written by Tony Gilroy, who's just a
Yes, I'm being told that I have to watch it because I have
yes.
to talk about it on another podcast. Yes.
It's worth your time, and it doesn't matter if you're a Star Wars fan or not. It's just the writing is fantastic, and that speech is something that when I heard that line, "The death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil." I mean, that's what we're talking about here. That's what we're talking about when AI assistants
Mhm.
supposedly are being told to lie and are being told to tell people that there is a white genocide going on in South Africa, which again, there isn't, regardless of the question that they ask. It's all done in the service of pushing Elon Musk's agenda, of pushing Donald Trump's agenda. And, the truth be damned. The truth is the enemy to these people. And they have to do whatever they can to subvert the truth and to push the truth down in the algorithm, because that's the way things get out these days, is through the algorithm. And so, what do you know? The more Grok talks about white genocide in South Africa, the more the algorithm at Twitter or wherever decides that white genocide in South Africa is the thing everyone's talking about and is a very important thing for us to be talking about. And and that helps further Trump's agenda. It helps further Elon Musk's agenda. And again, it helps take us further and further away from the truth, which is one of the main goals of this administration, of MAGA in general. Of, if you want to widen it, it's the main goal of people who are banning books in school districts across the country. People like Meatball Rob, the governor of Florida. And so, when I first saw this story, I was like, well, this is a really interesting story and it's involving tech and whatever, but it's so much bigger than that because it really does. It gets to the heart of what we know and what we know to be true. And how there is a group of people in this country who are actively working
Yep.
to obscure the truth, to deny the truth, and to replace it with lies, that serve their ideological agenda. And I do not want to talk about 1984 because it's overdone to death. Uh,
But
but here we are.
it's like, but here we
Here we
are. And
are.
I just, to add to that, I want to say this, that the Episcopal Church, right, through its Episcopal Migration Ministries, has decided to end its 40-year partnership with the U.S. government for refugee resettlement because of
Right.
what they have just done
Right.
with regard to placement of South Africans, quote unquote, fleeing South Africa. And the church's decision was made after this resettlement news happened. And they said, we're not doing this. We're not resettling white Afrikaners. Like, are you insane? And you're talking about 4 decades of work, and so it's like, who are you going to believe? The Episcopal Church, right? The South African president that is telling you that no genocide is happening, or you're gonna believe Elon Musk and Grok,
Yeah.
right? But that's the world that we're living in, where it is going to be incumbent, and this is what scares me, because this is why we're here in the first place, Andy, is because what we know to be true, or at least I won't put words in your mouth, I'll say it. Americans are lazy. People are lazy, and they just click on a thing, and that's all the information that they get is vis-a-vis the headline, right?
We can edit this out, right?
They don't look for who was the source? Where did I get this story? Is it relevant? It doesn't matter, right? Is it fact-based? Whose agenda is propping this information up? And because of that, you've had Putin, MAGA, and Twitter become and Facebook become the sources, right, of disinformation and misinformation, knowing that most people do not have the time or the energy or frankly the
Yep.
desire to sort through 7 different sources of information. No, they just share shit. Like right now, since the Pope came into since the Pope was anointed, right? Was elected. There have been all of these memes that are going around about the Pope talking about wokeness, right? And like how good it is to be woke and conscious and all of these things. Now, while you can extract from the things that he has said what you may interpret as his opinion about the war on woke, because he's told you in his recent sermon and all of these things, the meme that's going around that credible people are resharing is made up,
Yeah.
is made up. And even when it's something made up that you want to be true, doesn't stop it from being a lie that you're helping to spread. And so here you have Elon Musk says, all I have to do is plant the seeds that there is this genocide that's happening in South Africa. People start asking questions about it. Then the next thing you know, it's being covered on mainstream corporate media. And now we're all asking, well, what constitutes a genocide? Meanwhile, the actual genocide that is fucking taking place in Gaza gets no airtime. And anytime that you discuss it, you could end up in jail. So this 1984, yeah, we're beyond that. What comes beyond 1984? I have no idea, but we're beyond it.
2025, I guess. I just want to end by saying I was thinking about this. If I were a white American racist,
Mhm.
which I'm not, Danielle, and
Oh, thank you for telling me 3 years
well,
in.
I would appreciate it if you would stop telling people that I am. Um, I think I would be offended by this. It's like, what, we're not good enough? You got to bring in the OGs from South Africa. Like, we're not doing a good enough job, you know?
Well,
So
yeah, Elon Musk did say when he was told that he should hire more Americans, and he said they don't got the skills. Right?
right.
He literally said,
Yeah, yeah.
"They don't got the skills that I actually need, so we need them good immigrants. We need them good quality racist ones." Right? So that's where we are.
Yeah, gotta love it.